fairly recently, Chelsey and I discovered this author. I don't know if you've heard of him. His name is Stephen King. He's written a few books. No, really. In the last few years, we've really started reading more horror, and it's kind of been because of Vampire Month, I would say. We're kind of delving out of just like the teen horror genre because, guys, we're running out of vampire books.
So I never thought that I would be a horror novel fan, and I wouldn't say that I am, but I am definitely at this point a Stephen King fan. And it all started with Salems Lot, the first Stephen King book that I actually read.
It's considered like one of the OG best vampire books ever, and you know what? Yeah, it was fucking phenomenal. I have not stopped talking about this book.
I mean, I've heard that Stephen King is a good author my entire life, and tons of people read him, but I've never picked it up. And I was like, it's very literary, and I like it, like, a lot.
I love the characters. I love how miserable everyone in the town is. I love the kid who, when he's faced with a vampire, actually just handles his shit and just spends the entire book telling the grown-ass adults what to do.
Does he do endings well? It remains to be seen, but Salem's Lot is definitely a really well-ended book. And just the whole getting into the 50s thing, and they're like, sitting at the soda counter, and I'm like, what the hell is a soda counter, and why am I sitting at it?
It was a soda fountain, by the way.
The whole atmosphere, the whole spookiness of it, it was a great vampire book, and it was probably one of the ones I've enjoyed reading the most.
So after we finished Salem's Lot, we decided that because there was a Pet Sematary movie coming out, we might as well read Pet Sematary, and you know what? He did it again!
I mean, okay, we were not as creeped out about that book as probably people with children are.
Yeah, everybody told me that this is the one that was going to scare the shit out of me, and like it had this kind of mythological place in my mind. It's like, this is the book that is going to make me not sleep, and it's magical realism. Like, what the hell?
Honestly, you could have cut out the creepy horror parts and just done it as a contemporary novel about grief, and it would have been real good.
Like, damn, that book. I loved it. It was unfair how much I loved it. Now I'm trying to find ways that we can just like shove Stephen King into our reading schedule. They're doing an adaptation of The Stand, and I'm like, hey Chelsey, you're ready to read The Stand? It's over 1,000 pages. And she said yes!
It is not only over 1,000 pages, I downloaded the audiobook. It is 46 hours long. 46. An average book is 10.
I think my other big Stephen King experience of the year was that the It movies came out, and I wanted to read the book before I saw the movie. And so I spent a summer carrying around the 1,300 page Stephen King's It, and I was working at a carnival, and I don't know, there was just something about sitting there staring at a merry-go-round reading about an eldritch abomination of a clown that just kind of like, it has a special place in my heart.
And now we have our Stephen King phrase that we like to say, and that is, Daddy, meeks.
I don't know, just that entire book made me so happy that just, oh god, that child.
So we're now Stephen King fans. This has been the decade of Stephen King, and we're quite happy about it.
Yes.